Oh, what's going on, everybody? It's your boy Spencer. Just plain and simple, going to be doing the deck profile for this Invoked Dogmatika Generator deck, and we'll go ahead and just get right into it. So I do run two Duel and Lockbird and two Infinite Permanents. More than like a few times, people have said why you play Duel and Lockbird if you're playing Maxi, because they do kind of interfere with one another. But I don't know. I'm not playing my games as if I'm holding both of these in my hand at the same time, if that makes sense. Partially the reason why I'm playing two Duel and Lockbird is two Infinite Permanents on Master Duels, because that's all I have. You'll see I have two random tech cards here in Pankratops in Book of Moon. I'd rather spend my ultra rare points on other decks, if that makes sense. I kind of don't want to just spend a bunch of money, playing Master Duel. So I kind of throw stuff in there every once in a while to kind of, change things up. It's kind of weird ratios, but I'm in Platinum with this deck, and I win a lot of duels, so it's kind of like a very small difference. But I would recommend playing Duel and Lockbird because it's so good. Like, I feel like this is a turn ender for a lot of good decks, and I feel like this is also. So if I have both in my hand, then I just save the other one. That's kind of how it works, at least for me. So yeah, two Duel and Lockbird, two Maxi, three Ash Blossom. This is good to stop Maxi. It's also just a generically good hand trap. Obviously if you play Yu-Gi-Oh, you know that. Three Alistair the Invoker. 3 Ecclesia, the 1 Pankratops, 1 Fleur-de-Lis, and 1 Dogmatika Maximus. And then the generator lineup I run here is the generator boss of Ice, the Garda, the generator boss of, I don't remember what this one is, Delusion, interesting. And then this is Har, this is like the main boss monster of Storms. This is your Omni Negate, this pops something, this negates summons. I used to run 2 Har, but you definitely want to be able to get those tokens on the board, because if you already have one of these, you have to special summon one of your generator monsters to get those tokens. So that's like super important, right? That you have 3 different names, and I definitely would recommend running it. These are the only 3 good ones in my opinion. I know people play more pure generators, but I just try to use them through the boss stage engine personally. Just the one terraforming, of course, because the whole deck, you really want to be able to get your generator boss stage. Interestingly enough, I do play 1 Magical Meltdown just in case I open up terraforming and I also have boss stage. I don't want it to be a waste, so I do like to run copy. I used to run like more copies of Magical Meltdown, but you don't want to draw this later in the game. Like, you kind of either want it in your opening or not, and that's what playing it at 1 copy does for me, because otherwise you don't want to activate it over boss stage if you can activate it, because boss stage is just inherently better than Magical Meltdown, in my opinion. I only run 1 invocation. It's kind of just how I always roll. I think it's kind of bricky, personally. I think most people play it at 2, but for me, 1 works. Here in Master Duel, you only get 1 into your servants, which stinks really badly, but that's okay. I mean, usually I run 2 Prod of Prosperity in my kind of build in the TCG. But in this case, you have to run more copies. So it's kind of like you're hoping you can find more into your servants or more Ecclesias. It just kind of works out. Pot of Prosperity is fine. Talked about this. Talked about the 3 generator boss stage. The 1 Book of Moon, like I said, like Pankratops in this are just like I'm playing 1 less Ultra. I'm playing 1 less Infinite Permanence, and I'm playing 1 less Duel and Lockbird. That's kind of where these 2 come in. But Pankratops I actually would highly recommend. Book of Moon's like kind of hilarious and decent, and it's a lot of times a 1-for-1 for like big negate cards. Yeah, Pankratops is actually unironically good. 3 generator boss fight. I always go back and forth in this card because it gives your opponent so much advantage, but I actually like it for discard fodder for Merkaba if you already have boss stage in your hand. So this is like really good in simplified game states. Like, this card's insane, so it is worth playing for me. Like, you don't want to have an equal ratio or a slightly equal ratio between boss stage and in your boss monsters, your boss stage of whatever, your generator boss of Delusion and all that. So again, I do recommend playing this card. And you can't play Metaverse because you do need your opponent to draw a card, and if you activate it, it'll happen after, all that kind of stuff. Anyways, Dogmatika Punishment here. I do like to have it, have it to search out. It's good to send to the graveyard, all that kind of stuff. And then I do run 3 Solemn Strike here. So going on into the extra deck here, I do run 1 Elder Entity Nis. Kaliga is really just a cheap option for me personally. Purgatrio, I actually kind of like this card. It helps you go for game a lot because it has that piercing battle damage. I like to call this Invoked Og. No surprises there. Titan Cloud of the Ash Dragon, one of your targets, 2 send to the graveyard. Invoked Makaba. I run 2 Winged Pegasus Ad Ignister because this card is super underrated. It's something your opponent really can't play around to get through your board. It does target, but it does shuffle, so really good removal for just pretty much anything your opponent may have. So I highly recommend playing 2 of these, because I also run 1 Omega, so this lets you shuffle. Like if you send Elder and Omega, like going into your second turn, or maybe you send Elder, you sent Winged Pegasus and, you know, Omega, basically just lets you shuffle these back. So you basically have infinite copies of Winged Pegasus and your Elder Entity, or mostly of your Elder Entity, because I'm pretty sure this banishes itself from the graveyard. Yeah, you can banish this card. So basically it's just a reshuffle for your Elder. So it's kind of like you have multiple copies and you keep doing over and over again. Instead of playing an extra copy of Elder. I do run 1 Phantom Fortress. I would kind of play Zeus because I have a random card like Pentstag. This is just something I have like in my tool of cards. But yeah, you probably want to have Zeus in here. Secure Garden and Almirage are, of course, part of the Alistair package. Kind of talked about this. You know, Ferajid is like really clutch in this deck too, because it can help if you have one of these in your opening hand. Obviously, Boss H has to summon from the deck, helps you do that, and that's another really good use for Omega, to be able to send these 2 to the graveyard, and then you can just kind of reshuffle those back and use it again. Drawing, like, you know, getting a fresh card in your hand every turn is always really good. And the Nightmare Unicorn is also just kind of a utility card for everything else, because I don't want to spend the points on like Zeus and all that other kind of stuff right now, but. Yeah, that is the deck profile. Let me know what you guys think in the comment section down below. Other than that, that's going to do it for today's video, and I'll see you guys next time.